We've got psychotherapist and author of 30-Day Love Detox. Please welcome Dr. Wendy Walsh. And Dr. Wendy,
Thank you.
I am very serious. When I was going through this book with the producers, I was telling them, man, I've never seen a woman nail it. I was just pretty impressed.
Well, I really delved into the scientific research, you know. So much that we teach women about sexuality comes from political conservatism or religion. I wanted to know the science of relationships. And let me tell you, Jessica, your story is not uncommon. It's very common that girls get addicted to these bad boys because he's emotionally avoidant and you're confusing that with self-confidence. You think, oh, he's hard to get. I'm going to reel him in. I'm going to find a way. But actually, you may, honey, suffer from something that so many women suffer from, which is kind of an anxious attachment disorder, which means that you crave intimacy. You crave it so much, but you actually invite in the very thing you fear, somebody who will abandon you at a critical moment of need.
Right. You know, before we go to break, let me just say this to you. Every man can change, and every man will change. But there's only one woman that we will change for. And if you ain't it, this is the quickest way to find if you're it or not. He will not change.
Yeah.
If he won't change, it's because you're not it. Ta-da! Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to learn how Jessica and any woman in this situation can break this cycle, including the science behind why women chase the wrong guy. This is very interesting. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, listen, I'm back with Jessica, who says after holding on to a toxic relationship for 4 years that she needs help letting go. Also here is psychotherapist Dr. Wendy Walsh. Now, Dr. Wendy, toxic relationships make you feel bad. So why do women end up in them?
Well, believe it or not, some of my research showed, Steve, that plenty of women think a hookup is a stepping stone to a relationship. Trust me, no man thinks a hookup is a stepping stone to a relationship. But women are very different. You know, their sexuality is different. When women start having sex with a man, their bodies excrete large amounts of oxytocin, which is the female bonding hormone. The only other time it's excreted in big doses is when they're breastfeeding, so they can bond with their baby. But now men are the opposite. Men don't fall in love through sex. They fall in love through trust. And they don't actually trust a woman who has sex with them so easily. And research shows that the more sexual partners a man has had, the more he perceives diminished attractiveness in each new mate. It's a race to the bottom for him. You know what's hot to a guy? The word no.
Okay. How are women wired when it comes to love?
It's a cocktail of chemicals that hit their brain. The oxytocin hormone is the first thing. Then chemicals like norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, they stimulate the pleasure centers of the brain exactly like a drug does. So what happens is the brain gets addicted to the relationship because of these charges of neurotransmitters and hormones.
What makes these guys so attractive to women? The bad boy, the player, what is that?
Well, there's actually learning theory called a random interval reward system. It's what Las Vegas is based on, right? You stand at that slot machine and it pays you a random reward at different intervals and it makes you glued to that slot machine. A bad boy's the same way. He comes in, remember how he sucked you back in? With love and apologies and a few real dates. That is enough to make you say, okay, maybe next time it'll pay off, it'll pay off. And that's what bad boys do. What
are your thoughts right now?
That makes a lot of sense. Like, every time he comes back, I'm always thinking, this is the time that he'll finally be with me and I'll finally be his girlfriend, but it never is.
Painful. But the good news is this pattern can be changed and you can be healed.
What steps can she take to move on?
So the first thing I tell Jessica, and I tell every other woman in these kinds of relationships, I call them low criteria relationships, is to purge all junk food men, so you can have space for high nutrition relationships. That means you can't be their Facebook friend and Facebook stalk them. You can't follow them on Twitter. You can't even drive by their house. When they text, you have to just delete that text and then keep your pretty manicure off your phone. You have to detox off these guys. That's the first thing. The next thing is when you enter the next relationship, you have to delay the onset of the sexual relationship. Now remember, that's very different from withholding sex to manipulate a man. No, no, no. This is delaying the onset so that gives him a chance to prove himself. And finally, have a conversation about what is this relationship? before you have sex, because it's too late once it's after sex. Don't you agree, Steve?
I got to tell you, this is so dead on. In my book, I wrote it up simply, the 90-day rule, which gives you time to find out more about the man before you have sex with him. Because once you have sex with him, you all try so hard to make it work now because you don't want to admit that you made a mistake and had sex with the wrong guy.
And
So now,
you know why my book is called The 30-Day Love Detox? Because I found a study that said if you have sex within 30 days of meeting somebody, you got a 90% chance of being broken up within a year. If you wait only 31 to 90 days, you got a 1 in 4 chance you'll be together a year later. That's better odds for me if I'm going to Vegas.
see, I didn't know nothing about them odds. See that right there?
Yeah.
I didn't go to college, take up none of them courses. I don't know that study. Here's the deal. The biggest word to get a man's attention is know. Know who you are. Know what you want. Know what you'll accept. Know what you'll reject. Know. You can K-N-O-W and you can N-O your way right to the top. But know is, I don't care how you spell it, you got to know. Listen to me. We're sending everybody home with a copy of the 30-Day Love Detox. This is a great book. You got to get it. Dr. Wendy Walsh, thank you so much. This is a great book. Jessica?
Thank you.
When we come back, we got just one more thing. Even I don't know what it is. Stay with us.